Hi, PE552. So for Unit 8, about the historical trends impacting our vocation, the first question asks to choose one historical time frame and location and discuss how sport and physical activity of that time has impacted your physical education, sport, etc. So I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be a little bit of a combination for me. I'm really fascinated with learning about like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, and how their two philosophies of PE kind of countered each other, where you had the more intellectual side of Greece while you had the more physical side of Rome. And I think a lot can be taken from learning about both of them, where I think if you make PE too intellectual, then you have a problem, and if it's too physical, then you have the same problem just on the other side. So I would have to say it's impacted my uh, vocation. If I do end up wanting to be, say, a PE teacher, um, which is a real possibility, it would have to be particularly the Greece side has impacted me the most, where more intellectual thought has gone into PE over the physical side. But I think the physical side needs to be there to complement and to learn the lessons that you're teaching. So definitely, uh, taken me on a route that is different than I originally thought with PE, whereas more physical and not as intellectually stimulating. The next question, also select one topic related to history and philosophy of physical education and discuss how it's impacted your vocation today. So, especially in the time we live in now, good, bad, or indifferent, politics is intertwined in everything. And so for me, it was interesting reading about how politics became intertwined, how they use these grand stages of like the Olympics to get their message across, and how people would demonstrate, hopefully in the right way, not a violent or destructive way. And then it's impacted my vocation, where it kind of makes you think is you do have to be careful what you say and do because of the political nature of nowadays, and you just kind of have to watch your back, and it kind of brings you full circle, where in another class we're talking about coaches getting sued over not starting players, and it reminds me of that, where you need to have your thoughts and everything lined up, and then be able to defend your actions if you say or do something. And then, what do you predict will be the future topic of interest or concern related to your profession? In regards to coaching, because that's where I'm looking at right now, more specifically in college and professional athletics, it's going to be safety of the players, definitely. Particularly in the NFL, there's still problems with concussions, and what's interesting now is you see, since they are trying to combat concussions, where it's illegal now to hit guys deliberately in the head, where there's targeting in college where you can get ejected from a game, and what you're seeing now is an increase of torn ACLs, and it's really interesting to see it happening, where guys, defensive players, they are no longer able to go high on a player in fear of getting fined, getting suspended, getting a flag thrown, and now they're going low, and they're guys rupturing Achilles, they're tearing ACL, MCL, meniscus, um, and in fact, there's players nowadays where, like receivers, who are usually the victims of that, they're actually saying, "Hey, hit me in the head. I'll pay your fine." And I think that's definitely going to be what's coming down the pike, is not only concussions but more player safety in general. over the whole body. And I think you're going to be looking at more guaranteed contracts because more guys they're playing faster, hitting harder, and football is one of the few sports where their guaranteed contracts are minuscule compared to the contracts that they sign. Where a baseball player, they'll sign a 10-year, $200 million deal and be guaranteed all of that. They can walk out, get hit by a car, and then make a full recovery but never play again, but they're guaranteed all that money. Same with basketball is getting there with 100% guarantees, and I think football is going to get there pretty soon. Kind of either the safety or the money is going to get there first, and I think one is going to kind of overshadow the other once it becomes more apparent to the public. But and again, it's just going to be more of an issue because people are more sensitized to it. Where 15, 20 years ago, guy gets a concussion, they wouldn't even know, pops a couple aspirin and he's done. He'd be go back out there. And along with that is you watch on TV, you see these games, you see a big hit, game's over, you forget about it and on to the next week. Where nowadays it gets on social media and you see big hit, big hit, big hit, and these guys getting concussions, guys tearing their ACLs. You see guys' knees going backwards. I mean, it's crazy what you see. And you, instead of just seeing it in the moment and then it goes away, it's now being constantly bombarded to people. So I think that's more like a reason why a reason why these issues are going to become an issue and people are going to fight for them. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye.